Yeah. So anyway, so the bottom line is that like he started with the almond milk, and then he went to the playground, and the coughing stopped, and that was over with. So right then and there, I was like, oh, okay, there's something to this. You know
And
what I
that
mean?
was in December.
Oh yeah, it was like right away. Yeah.
That was in December because we started with organic, and getting rid of like artificial coloring and artificial flavoring and preservatives. But I mean, we fought about the milk and the gluten. That didn't go down easy with us.
No, I don't remember fighting. We didn't fight about it.
But we didn't just go and do it from day one.
I thought we did.
Nope, we got organic milk from day one.
Oh.
And then in December, 2 months later, is actually when we got rid of the dairy. And when we started, I couldn't find any gluten in a regular grocery store that qualified as, like not having bleach and being whole grain and not having preservatives. Like, it was just really hard to find food in a grocery store that met the requirements that the naturopathic doctor gave us for being food and not processed chemicals. So we started gluten-free and we took him trick-or-treating. And then I got to Whole Foods and I got the whole grain organic bread and pasta. And we lost all speech and he was like back to headbanging again. Do you remember Thanksgiving? We had like no language again. Because we gained parakeet words from the diet. And we had a decrease in the behaviors.
That's right, yeah.
And then when we added the organic wheat bread, it was awful. I mean, bread became, once we got rid of it for a second time, and like I said, this was not an easy pill for me to swallow. I was told, take him off of it for 10 days, and then feed him as much gluten as you can for 3 days and see what happens. Then you'll know if he reacts or if he does better without it. And we took it off for those. I was never feeding that to him again. Doesn't mean he hasn't gotten his hands on it, but I have never fed him gluten again. So after 5 months of starting with diet and supplements and kind of prepping the body, getting it to a new level of homeostasis, we then started cease therapy. This is an excellent book on cease therapy, Autism Beyond Despair. Cease therapy stands for Complete Elimination of Autism Spectrum Expression. And it is isotherapy, which is similar to homeopathy. Homeopathy is like cures like. Isotherapy is the same, cures the same. So Titus Smith, who wrote this book and developed cease therapy, believed that with autism, you needed to detox the actual cause in order to get recovery. He didn't think that homeopathy was quite strong enough with these issues. He was a father, a school teacher of an autistic boy, and eventually he got to a place where he said, I can't bring my kid back to the Western medical doctors or they will kill him. And so he started studying homeopathy, and it just made sense to him. And he started setting his alarm at 4 o'clock in the morning so that he could study it before he went to school teaching. And he finally told his wife, I need to become a homeopathic doctor. And he started detoxing the vaccines out of autistic children. And they recovered. Over 300 kids, almost all of the kids that he treated recovered. And it wasn't all just vaccines. There were nasal sprays used during pregnancy, antibiotics, different medications used during the birthing process, antidepressants, glyphosates, plastics. There are other things besides just vaccines. But in my son's case, he had an obvious reaction to all of his shots. And so we started with detoxing his flu shot. So I ordered these remedies already made at I&E Organics. But for demonstration, I'm going to kind of demonstrate what it is that they're doing before they send me the pellets. So they're taking 1 drop of his flu vaccine to 99 drops of water, and that is a 1C dilution. Then they mix that and tap that, and then they take 1 drop of that to 99 drops of water, and that is now a 2C dilution. Okay, so we're going to mix that up and get it all tapped up, and we're going to take 1 drop of this and bring it to 99 drops of water, and that is now 3C dilution. That all mixed up. 1 drop over here. This is now 4C dilution. Now, if we were to go all the way down to 30, we would take 1 drop of that water and put it on some little sugar pellets, and that's what I buy as a 30C potency. Now, if we did this 200 times and take 1 drop of that and put it on the next sugar pellets, that's a 200C, which is what I'm also getting. Then I'm going to get a 1M, so let's do 1,000 dilutions. And then we have 10M, which is 10,000 dilutions. So when I order these, this is what I receive in the mail, is 4 little bottles, a 30C, a 200C, a 1M, and a 10M. And when I open up this bottle, you can see there's little pellets in there. So I will give my son 3 of those, and he eats them like candy. They're little sugar homeopathic remedies, so they taste just like candy, and they go down very easily.
JoJo, you want to take your C's? Look, here's your C's. Okay. All right, that helps you to detox from your flu shot.
The cease was by far the most effective thing that we did to recover my son, but it was also the hardest to start. When we started, it was like we went square one back to where we started from before the diet, and we had to allow his body to process out all of that damage. So we've re-experienced all of his adverse reactions before we got gains, and it came out as like layers, just as we did the detox in layers. So with 30C, I got kisses. With 200C, I got hugs and meaningful speech. 1M, I got drawing. But in the beginning, while we were still at 30C and 200C in the first year, I really worked hard to do everything that I could to support his body in detox. We did magic socks, which means we took cotton socks, put them in ice water, wrung them out, put them on his feet, and then I put wool socks, dry wool socks on top. And so that boosts his immune system to trick him into believing that it's cold and really get his circulation moving. I did castor oil massages on his abdomen. I did ion cleanse foot baths to help promote the detox channels. We did methyl B12 injections, which was the only waste of money that I feel that we did. My son was responding to a chewable, and the gains that we got at that time, I actually believe were 200cc gains, because when I re-experienced 200cc gains the next year, they were huge. And the day that we went to Dr. Newbrander's office, my son took a toy and put it to the top of a ladder and said, "Let me down." That was his first sentence that I heard with meaningful speech, and that was before he ever got an injection of methyl B12. That first appointment was $2,000 to get started. It is $20 to get a bottle of chewable methyl B12. It was the only money that I feel that we wasted in our recovery. It was very difficult emotionally to give him shots after the vaccines. In October, we started 40 hyperbaric oxygen chamber dives.
We finished them in early December. Hey everybody, today is our final 40th dive of HBOT. This is our Christmas present to everybody. We're gonna get JoJo off of services one day, hopefully by the time he goes to kindergarten. And we should see the results of this by Christmas. Happy belated Merry Christmas. Today is our follow-up video from our HBOT with JoJo. We started doing Hyperbaric with him in October for autism, and since we started getting a lot more language from him, a lot better social skills, a lot better play skills. Come here, JoJo. Come here.
Here, buddy.
Come here, buddy. And that's something new. The fact that he actually followed directions and came over here, that's very neat. Oh, we got the car. We got bumper cars. His play skills, he used to just line up his cars. Now he actually plays with them as cars. He's a lot more demanding, very into Halloween. Right, JoJo? He's been a lot more calm at school. He's been getting a lot of good report cards. The week before school got out, that he was really well behaved. 8 days ago, he played with Carmine for over an hour quietly. Never thought that was possible.
Yeah, yeah. His listening skills have advanced, dramatically. And he plays with the toys the way they're supposed to be played, where before he would just smash them.
We still have some smash.
We still have some moments, as you can say.
January, JoJo came back from Christmas break and he mastered all of his goals. We had his first good IEP meeting on February 2nd, and I asked them, does every page of this report say 2018 goal mastered because you filled out the paperwork January 2018, or did he come back from Christmas break and master all of his goals? And he came back from Christmas break and he mastered all of his goals. Those gains were great, but we spent $7,200 on hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatments. And as amazing as those gains were, we got way more gains and complete healing from doing cease therapy. So if you have the money, I absolutely want to encourage you to do hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatments. But if you cannot afford to take out a second mortgage on your house or pay $7,200 or buy a unit for possibly $22,000, don't worry about it. Focus on the diet, focus on the things that you can do, because they're the real difference maker. That being said, if you have a child with life-threatening seizures, grandma's seizures, colonic seizures, I absolutely recommend that if you don't have the money, that you find a way to raise the money for hyperbaric oxygen chamber treatment. It is indispensable in their recoveries. But in autism, our kids deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. But if you can't afford it, it's very expensive. You can still recover them. As we continued our recovery, we went to 10M Cease Detox, where JoJo took his diaper off and peed on the living room floor. After that, it was much easier to change his diaper. Then we took 2 weeks off and we continued that flu detox again. When we did 30C, JoJo headbutted me, screamed for 40 minutes, and instantly had reciprocal language. Those were the fastest reactions with gains I have ever experienced with Cease to this date. JoJo, what's your favorite song?
Ghostbusters.
Can you sing it?
Something changed in the neighborhood. I'm going to school.
Yeah, you go to school. You like school?
Yeah.